The big science under the microscope tonight. High voltage, high jinx. Our team of Brainiacs gets to grips with electricity.
Do you have no sense of rhythm?
We scientifically measure how much better looking women become after a couple of pints. Crackpot scientist Dr. Bunhead meddles with liquid oxygen. And resident Brainiac boffin Jon Tickle makes a careful study of silicone implants.
We're here to find out which floats best, an O pair or a fake pair.
But first, let's blow something up. Salad is a foodstuff that Braniacs don't usually have much time for. All that cutting, dressing and tossing. We've got more important things to do. Like playing with liquid nitrogen, which is one of our very favourite things. So how about using the liquid nitrogen as our very own salad cream? Put the nitrogen in the bottle. Seal tightly. Then put the bottle in the salad. And leave. Quickly. The nitrogen gives off gas, expands, the bottle resists. And then explodes. One salad tossed, the lazy man's way.
You know when you're out of an evening, pub, bar, whatever, and you look at the people around you and think, wow, you're not bad looking, I suppose, or blimey, what a minger. You just know that later on, that same evening, after a few drinks, you'll be looking at exactly the same people thinking, bingo, you're gorgeous. Well, that's called beer goggles. People get better looking after a few drinks. But let's be scientific about this. How much better looking?
Two blokes in the Brainiac lab, 2 pints of lager and 4 young ladies. We've recreated the feel of a busy pub to get an accurate beer goggles reading. Our 2 gents are going to give each girl a score.
OK, turn round, please, and mark each woman out of 10.
Then they'll drink some beer and score them again. This is also an interactive experiment, a chance for you to play at home and help us work out exactly how strong the beer goggles effect really is. You'll need to make up your own scorecards and provide your own drink, 2 pints of lager, but we'll supply the girls. You must, of course, be over 18. For those of you taking part then, here are the girls. OK, assuming you've completed your scorecard, we're now ready for the second part of our experiment.
OK, now drink your beer.
Our volunteers are now getting tanked up. You should also do the same. So if you're playing at home, please now drink your beer. We'll give you a little time to do that, so for the moment, sit back, get boozing, and we'll return to the experiment in a short while.
Hi, this is Tony Hadley and you're watching Brainiac. I love this. This is brilliant.
not here for pleasure, I'm here for the science. In fact, I'd hardly even notice Marketta and Hayley splashing around in tight bikinis. Anyway, we're here for the science, aren't we? We're here to find out which floats best, an O pair or a fake pair. Marketta is from Eastern Europe and works as no pair for an English family. She has natural breasts. Hayley, on the other hand, is a glamour model from Croydon. She has silicone implants to give her the large breasts popular in the glamour industry. In the name of science, we're going to get each of our lovely ladies to lie back in the water and see who's most buoyant. First up, it's our O pair with the natural pair. Marketta? Excellent, well done, thank you. Good floating. Right then, Hayley, let's see how your silicone enhanced breasts do in the float test. Not bad. In fact, that's quite puzzling because silicone is denser than water and water is denser than fat. So really, you should be sinking. Any idea why?
It could be because my breasts were quite large to start with.
Ah, what size were you before?
D cup.
And now?
A G cup.
It could be your natural fat is keeping you afloat.
It might be.
Thanks very much, Hayley. Up you come.
My pleasure.
And mine. Now there you go. Mixed results. Not quite what we expected. But I think on balance, the silicone wins. Isn't science fun?
Ever held onto an electric fence? It hurts. Farmers use electric fences to keep cattle in and foxes out. If an animal touches the fence, it gets a shock and it runs away. Today, by holding on to this fence designed to shock horses, the Braniacs are going to learn all about electricity. This Brainiac is going to touch the fence and get an electric shock. Ow. This happens because when he touches the fence, he completes the circuit between the live wire and the ground. The charge goes from the fence itself into the Brainiac, through the Braniac's body and down into the ground. Then it goes along the ground into the earth stakes, along the earth wires and back into the unit to complete the circuit. Ow! And it hurts. OK, he's getting pretty fed up with that. So what happens if he stands on these polystyrene tiles? Brainiac, touch the fence. The electricity won't pass through the Braniac's body because it can't go through the polystyrene tiles to the ground to complete the circuit because they're a good insulator, so no shock. Off the tiles. Shock. On the tiles. No shock. Off the tiles. Shock. Every time this light flashes, there's a charge in the fence. Now, if the Braniac's feet aren't touching the ground when it flashes, he shouldn't get shocked. So if he can jump at the right moment, he'll be fine. Brainiac, are you ready? Excellent. On. Look, grab the fence, do it when I say on, be in the air. Here you go. On. Do you have no sense of rhythm? It's not difficult. You need to work on your timing. Or maybe we need to work on that theory a bit. What's better than shocking a Brainiac? Shocking a whole load of them. In you go. All our Brainiacs have bare feet and they're holding hands, as you do. Now, what will happen when the Brainiac at that end grabs the fence? It might just go straight through him to the ground. It might make it all the way to here. Will this Brainiac even feel it? Who knows? Let's find out. Brainiac, on the count of 3, grab the fence. 1, 2, 3, go. Hang on. So you haven't even moved. How far did it get? It got that far.
It got to this time.
Rate that out of 5. 1 to 5, how much did it hurt? 2. 1 to 5, how much did that hurt?
4.
4. Right. Change order and let's do it again. Line up, hold hands. On 1. 3, 2, 1, go. You didn't feel it at that end? So it earthed by there. His eyes are still spinning. It seems that the current has never got past this Brainiac here. So maybe he has unique insulating properties. Who knows? There's only one way to find out. Stick him on the end. On you go. You go and grab the fence, and I'm my cat. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Whoa, now that went further. Where did that end up? Did you feel that? No. That went as far as that Brainiac there. It's killed that Brainiac. That's quite impressive. Right, new theory. What happens if we insulate, using these polystyrene tiles, all the Braniacs along the line, apart from the one on the end? Maybe the current will make it all the way. Let's find out. Insulate yourselves, Braniacs.
Now, the first 4 in the line think that because they're insulated, they won't get a shock.
And on my count, touch the fence. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh! Oh, yeah. Wow. Well, that really works. Because you were insulated, it earthed here, so for the first time, the current made it all the way to the very end. You all got a shock, and that looked quite severe at this end.
Yeah, that hurt.
Because they were all holding hands, the current travelled along the line to find the Earth via our uninsulated Brainiac, giving everyone along the way a shock.
Oh! Oh, yeah. Well, final experiment. What happens if you're insulated as well? Then you're all insulated, OK? So, join hands, please, Braniacs. And on my count, grab the fence. 3, 2, 1, go. Well, look at that. That's amazing. Nothing because you're all insulated. That's very clever, Brainiacs. I hope you've enjoyed learning about electricity. Well done. Good effort, that's what I say. Some people never learn.
Here's one for you. If you're in a car travelling at about the speed of light, what happens when you switch on the headlights?
Have you ever wondered what the food looks like when you're digesting it in your stomach? What we've got in here is the equivalent of strong stomach acid. That should about do. Now all we need is a good old British banger. There we go. So you can see that it's already just starting to turn brown. The acid is starting to chop it up into smaller little bits. So what's happening in here, our sausage is made up of very big, long molecules, and our body needs to use very short molecules. That's easy to digest. And of course, your stomach's constantly moving and stirring things up as well, so yes. And that's more like it. That's great. Yeah, that really is disgusting. In your stomach, that's called chine. When it comes out, it's called vomit. And that pretty much is a simplified version of what goes on inside your stomach.
Still to come, why you shouldn't put propane gas in a microwave. Who fares better in a Force 9 gale, a fatty or a thinny? And it's up, up, and no way, with our CO2 backpack.
It moved.
Will a tooth really dissolve in cola? Exactly how beautiful have these women become after 2 pints of beer? And an accident waiting to happen. Dr. Bunhead gets silly with dangerous chemicals.
During the course of this series of Brainiac, we've discovered some pretty novel uses for cylinders of CO2 gas. We've firmly established their ability to provide power for land-based vehicles.
We attached the cylinders to various things with wheels with various degrees of success. Our office chair showed potential, but uncontrolled rotation was a problem. Our wheelchair, on the other hand, was much more stable, but not so good on the rough ground.
And Jon Tickle has shown us what they can do on water.
It was a case of trial and error, but favouring the error side more. CO2 wasn't as effective on the water until our twin-cylinder dinghy showed some promise.
That leaves just one frontier to conquer. The sky. Right, the first thing to do for this mission is find out whether a CO2 canister can lift its own weight. So we've rigged this one with an electrically operated valve. So if things go a bit wayward, which they will, we can shut it off. Here goes. OK, are you ready?
Ready.
Get goggles on my count. 3, 2, 1, go. Well, you know, it moved. I think there was some lift. Yeah, let's assume it works. Time, I think, to move this up a gear and see if we can launch one of our trusty Brainiac mannequins up into the heavens. So, good luck. Yes, well, you know, all the best.
If one cylinder can lift its own weight and a little bit more, then 2 cylinders can lift their own weight plus 2 bits more. So each time we add another cylinder into the equation, we should be able to lift more weight. That's the theory anyway.
Now, we're not expecting much here, to be honest, but we can at least see, you know, if we get a bit of lift, that's good. Right, 3, just a bit of lift, any lift. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah. Well, no, it is a tricky business, aviation.
So, 2 cylinders are not enough to lift 1 mannequin. But we're not giving up yet.
Now, listen, if the great aviators of the past hadn't persevered and stuck to their guns, we wouldn't have had Concorde. Well, we haven't, but, you know, it would never have been. So, onward and upward.
How about we try 6 cylinders, lifting little old me?
This is a 6-cylindered CO2-powered flying saucer, and it's probably the only one in the world.
We're pretty sure the more canisters you have, the more you can lift. What we're not sure about is just how many you need. Just in case 6 is the magic number and I do find myself airborne, a little protection might be prudent.
OK, stand back. 3, 2, 1. You see, I don't think we should look at that as a failure. We've already conquered land and sea, and it's good to know that space is still something for us to shoot for.
Here's one for you. Why is ice clear and snow white?
Stop! The following experiment is dangerous for your safety and the protection of those around you. Do not try this at home. No, really, don't.
This balloon contains a mixture of 2 gases, propane and oxygen. Attached to the outside of the balloon is a spoon to provide a spark. When the gases ignite, they expand rapidly. So rapidly that the microwave is blown apart. We do these experiments so you don't have to. Do not try this at home. No, really, don't. Pub science, the Brainiac alternative to the jukebox.
So if I can crush that can with nothing more than air pressure, you'll both go out with me. Yeah? OK, so just need a bit of water. That. Heat it up. Like so. Wait for the steam to come out the top. And fingers crossed, I'm on a double date.
Listen, mate, I've told you, not in my pub, all right? Go on, get out of here. Come on.
Can I be phone over?
Tell you, this tin pot science me off. Go on, get out of it.
I was just about to score!
Fiberglass is one of the toughest materials known to man. But how tough? Mannequins are made of fiberglass, so let's find out. Lead azide explosive burns at 8 miles a second and can be ignited with a small electrical charge to a detonator. There's some inside our man and a little extra by his feet. 30 grams of explosive versus 1 fiberglass dummy. Who will win? 1 moment is there, 1/100th of a second later, he's toast. In the continuing war between the elements, it's explosives 1, fiberglass dummies 0.
Dear John, since helium is lighter than air, would it cost me less to post a parcel if I were to fill it with helium balloons? Yours in the name of science, Fraser from Leicester. Well, Fraser, if it's science you're after, let's go do an experiment. Rightio, Fraser. In order to answer your question, we're going to send this pen to America in this box. But before we start, we've got to find out how much it costs to send the box to America without any helium in it. So we're off to get it weighed. Excellent.
Going down. Doors open.
What a polite lift.
Doors opening.
Hi guys, interested in sending this to America?
Yeah, that's no problem.
Excellent, thanks.
852 grams there. £16.13.
£16.13? It's only a pen.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Right, I might have to have a bit of a think about that. 1 helium cylinder. 1 balloon. Right, always my least favourite part, for obvious reasons. 1. 2. 3. Ouch. And 4. Here's the pen. I'm going to stick that in there. We'll see how much it weighs now. Hello again. Yeah, I'm back. Can we try again, please?
Yeah,
Let's see what it says this time.
Let's go for it.
15.39. So what was it? It was 16.13 before, so that's 74p saving. Well, there you go, Fraser. There's your answer. We've saved 74p, but unfortunately we've spent about 6 times as much as that on the balloons and the helium. So I reckon it's just not worth it.
I'm Peter Logan, and this is my exploding paste. When it's wet, it's safe, but when it's dry, it's very unstable.
Logan's paste is made using iodine crystals and one other secret chemical. It's so volatile that when dry, even the movement of a small insect can detonate it. Peter Logan first made his exploding paste while at school after concocting a recipe from an old textbook. Way back then, the only use he found for it was practical jokes. Many decades later, nothing has changed. Back to our busy pub, where we're measuring exactly how attractive people become after a couple of pints. Previously, our subjects, and we hope you at home, have voted on these 4 girls. So as not to skew the results, our men have not been allowed access to the ladies while they were drinking, and neither, of course, have you. So last orders for our 2 men, it's time for them to refocus on the girls.
Now turn round and vote for a second time.
And if you're playing at home and have not already done so, please now finish your beer. And now here's your chance to see the girls for a second time. So for those playing at home, please vote now. To calculate the Brainiac Lager Arousal Index, you'll need to work out the percentage increase between the 2 scores, which you can do by subtracting the first score from the second and dividing the result by the first score and then multiplying by 100. You've had beer. That's not going to be easy. So here are our results. The average scores for each girl.
Woman A, before the beer, 8.5. After the beer, 9. Woman B, before the beer, 8.5. After the beer, 9.5. Woman C, before the beer, 7. After the beer, 8.5. Woman D, before the beer, 3.5. After the beer, 3.5.
Combining those scores reveals the astonishing truth. 2 pints of lager makes women 11% more attractive.
So it's true what they say. Beauty is in the eye of the beer holder.
Our quest with fat versus thin is to find out in which life-threatening situations it's better to be minor or major. We've already established that it's better to be bony if caught in a heat wave. After sitting in a room full of powerful heaters, our thin guy managed to keep his cool. When it came to battling a blizzard, once again, our thin guy managed to avoid most of the bad weather. But when it came to being stranded at sea, our fat guy had a huge advantage. While he floated away merrily, our thin guy couldn't do the same, and to prevent himself from sinking, had to use his arms and legs. It was one for the big guy. In this Fat v Thin, we're going to find out if it's better to be under or overweight in a Force 9 Hurricane. Will it be the portly guy with the greater surface area that struggles, or will it be the puny guy with less? Both subjects will have to walk along this line whilst being blasted by 2 industrial wind machines. The one that's blown off the line the most will be declared the loser. First up is our fat bloke. His first few steps are confident, but maybe too confident. Watch closely as his left foot steps briefly off the line. It's 1 point against him. The wind machines do their best, but it seems that they are no match for our fat guy's greater mass. And he completes the course with only 1 penalty point. Yeah! Now our skinny guy, can he make it to the end without being moved by the wind? Well, it's not off to a great start. After only 2 steps, he's struggling to stay upright. He has far less surface area for the wind to catch, but his 6.5 stone just isn't heavy enough. Our thin guy is really being battered by the wind and finishes the course with 5 penalty points. which means in this fat v thin, it's better to be large than little. On the next fat v thin, is it better to be over or underweight if stuck in the North Pole in just your swimwear? Take one disused warehouse, a handful of Brainiacs, and lots of paper. Put them all together, and you have an aerodynamic testing centre. Our mission, to discover which is the largest paper plane that can actually fly. First step in the process, choosing the design. Some darts are as simple as they come, some a bit more complicated. But for the first test, they were all made out of a single sheet of A4 paper. Finding the right design means launching numerous darts, and in the true spirit of aviation, not every flight is a success. But the test flight does provide one clear winner. So, design chosen, let's do it on a bigger scale. A piece of paper 500 times the size of A4. And the test flight reveals that this one has all the aerodynamic properties of a brick. A plane of any size needs rigidity, something you progressively lose the bigger the paper gets. But what if we reduce the size of the paper by half? Will it then be better able to support its own weight? At 250 times the size of A4, this one has the wingspan to get the lift. But unfortunately, it also has the weight to get the drop. Even at that size, stability is an issue. So how about even smaller? 125 times A4. With added elevators on the wings. Well, it gets a little bit further, but at the end of it all, I think we can say we've conclusively proved that the best paper plane is indeed made out of a humble piece of A4 paper.
Brainiac. You dig?
Cheers. Leave a tooth in a glass of cola overnight and it'll dissolve. Nah. Will it? Down at the Brainiac lab, we've been knocking out teeth. One healthy molar. And one glass of the finest well-known family cola drink. No names, no lawsuits. Introduce the tooth to the drink, stir, and leave. Next morning, has our tooth gone to the great toothy graveyard in the sky? And there it is! A little soiled perhaps, but it's still with us. A tooth will not dissolve overnight in a glass of cola. And that's another great mystery solved. Thank God for science. Still to come, fun things to do in bed.
Accrington Stanley moved to their Peel Park ground in 1876.
And the Frank Spencer of the chemistry lab, Dr. Bunhead, meddles with explosives just once too often.
Can't open this.
Give me that angle grinder over here.
And can ex-villain Dave Courtney crack one of the world's toughest safes?
Here's one for you. Why is it that shampoos come in different colours, but the lather is always white?
Need a drink? Dear, water's off. Don't waste money on expensive plumbers. Make your own. Just some hydrochloric acid. Oops. Add just the right amount of sodium hydroxide. Whoa! Steamy. bit salty, but nice.
What's the best thing to do in bed? Yes, learn something. 8 hours in bed spent just sleeping is 8 hours wasted. Because apparently, if you listen to a tape at night, your mind can absorb the things you're hearing whilst you sleep. Well, that's what they say, anyway.
101 things to do with liquid nitrogen.
Tonight's the night for our little Brainiac. She's going to be rammed full of information and have a lovely lie down, all in the cause of science. We've made a tape for her to listen to.
This is a tape about the history of football. Accrington Stanley.
All she has to do is go to sleep. Up to now, our Brainiac doesn't know the first thing about the beautiful game, but by the end of the night, we hope she's going to be an expert.
And witness the Aggies going down 6-3 to Rochdale.
Wakey, wakey. What a night she's had while she's been dreaming the tape's been playing. But has she learned anything? Down at the lab, we're ready to give her a good pumping.
Your name, please.
Brainiac.
Your chosen specialised subject.
The history of association football, 1863 to 2003.
You have 2 minutes on the history of association football, 1863 to 2003, starting now. What is the name of the small, fat Argentinian whose hand of God knocked England out of the Mexico '86 World Cup?
Diego... someone pass.
The theory is that while you sleep, your brain still retains a level of consciousness which is enough for you to be able to soak up information if it's fed to you during the night.
Pass.
What is the name of David Beckham's French midfield teammate?
Pass.
Before last night, our Brainiac knew absolutely nothing about football.
Who is the current England captain?
Pass.
And it looks like she still doesn't.
At which ground did Chelsea play?
Pass.
What was she doing last night? It seems like we've been wasting our time. While our Brainiac should have been sleeping and learning, all she was doing was, well, just sleeping, really.
Pass.
Chelsea signed 2 Argentinians this season. I've started, so I'll finish. Chelsea signed 2 Argentinians this season, Juan Sebastian Veron, and which girly-haired striker?
Alan Shearer.
Incorrect. Hernan Crespo.
So there you go. The good news is you can save your money. Don't bother with language learning tapes. The bad news, you'll have to do some studying. The best thing to do when you go to sleep? Yeah, just go to sleep.
We're the Brownlow boys. That's me, Terry, and this is my boy, Jamie. We've been dealing in safes for 28 years, and this one here is one of the best. So good, in fact, we're putting 200 big ones in it. And if you can crack our safe, the dough's yours. But don't count on getting inside too easy. It's nearly 1 ton of solid steel. The doors are 5.5 inches thick, and it's been specially designed to resist attack from torches and drills alike.
So far, our safe has really been put through its paces. It's been dropped from a great height, but neither gravity or the ground could do the job. 3 firemen with over 50 years' experience turned up the heat, but the damage was only superficial. When metal met metal at 70 miles an hour, it was the stock car that came off second best. The safe only had a few surface scratches. This time, we bring in the heavies. This is Dave Courtney and his crew. In his time, if you needed a job doing, you went to Dave. Surely he can get into our safe. From the start, they went at it hammer and tongs. Well, no tongs, actually, but just about every other device under the sun.
Babe, Sean.
In true governor style, Dave directed the process from the comfort of his chair. Who said the underworld wasn't an equal opportunities employer?
I'll have a go.
Eventually, though, Dave felt the need to get his hands dirty.
Give me that angle grinder over here.
This former gangster used to do specialised debt collecting. He's a man who got his hands on the cash one way or another. But can he get his hands on the cash today? The answer? No.
Well, maybe if I had another week on it, I might, but not today, sorry. Thanks, babe.
So the safe and the 200 quid lived to see another day. Next time, our explosive experts see what they can do with a specialised piece of kit.
3, 2, 1.
On Brainiac, we've set out to prove that science can be fun.
Excellent!
But science can also be very dangerous.
That was your clothes!
Especially when it falls into the wrong hands. The hands of this man. I give you Dr. Bunhead.
They say too much of a good thing is bad for you. Take this wooden splint, for example. What about if you have too much oxygen? This is pure oxygen gas. It causes it to reignite. Not very spectacular, but what about if we take something a bit more concentrated, 1,000 times more concentrated, liquefied oxygen, or what's known in the trade as rocket fuel, a freezing cold liquid? What would happen if you were a smoker in an oxygen-rich environment? Some cigarettes soaked in liquid oxygen. You would find your cigarettes burn a good deal faster. There's the tobacco burning nicely, and the end, which is made of cotton wool. Or is it going to go? Woo! A good deal faster than the tobacco. That begs the question, what if you were a nappy-wearing smoker in an oxygen-rich environment? 5, 4, 3, 2... I think that answers the question. So what happens if you were a nappy-wearing smoker in an oxygen-rich environment, in a confined space, sleeping on a cotton mattress? That's it done. So I'm out of here. Sleep tight. Can't open this. Is it magnetic or what? I just need a blade or something just to open this. I'm not going to ignite it yet. I'm just going to get out of here. We have ignition. It should go a lot more. It should go. Jesus!
Did Bunhead survive this ghastly accident? Has he gone to that great chemistry lab in the sky? Tune in next time to find out.